Oh, sanity never came my way. I don't know what I'll do today. 'Cause sanity never came my way.
Nice.
Lost my mind just a couple of times. Lost my mind just a couple of times. You can spend your nickels, you can spend your dime. Lost my mind just a couple of times. Do you record that?
Yeah, I did.
Good. If anybody out there is, looking for some fresh talent,
You looking for a gig?
You're
gigging.
been working on that.
Nice.
I feel like, Sanity has like so many possibilities that haven't been explored.
It's like vocally.
Vocally, instrumentally, just in every way. They could bring on like a guest vocalist to like really just like take it to the next level.
I feel like Sanity needs to be sung by Fishman.
You think?
Yeah, because it just got that certain, it's got that certain like Susie Green. Yeah, it's got that Susie Greenberg like psych out,
Yeah, for sure. Well, hopefully they play it in 2023.
Sanity.
Yeah, one time.
Yeah.
I don't think they have to practice that one too much.
No. I don't think so. They got it memorized.
Boom, pow.
I remember listening to Junta back, early days and just like, what is this song?
I know.
It's so good.
And like Contact.
Oh, all of that.
All of those songs.
I know.
Junta or Junta, however you want to say it.
No one knows how to say it. They were all great.
Yeah.
Goldie, Dinner and a Movie. Fluff, obviously. And then Fluff's Travels.
Gold.
Like how they broke it out into 2 songs.
Yeah. Oof.
Esther.
Yep.
I mean, we're talking 90s.
But like the one that I really listened to at the time because I was young was Fee.
Fee.
Like that was the song that like really, I was like, this is a great little doodad.
That and Bouncing Around the Room. 2 hitters.
That was that on Junta?
No, it wasn't on Junta. I just
No.
mean like those 2 real easy songs.
We're talking about like when Junta was like the only album that they had.
Yeah, I know. I had it in a multi-disc CD player, the ones that had 5. And the big tray would come out and there'd be like
CD changer, yeah.
I think you put it in.
Yeah.
And get those 2 discs spinning.
For sure.
Wow.
So yeah, what's been going on in the old Fishiverse?
The Fishiverse?
Yeah. There's a lot of things flying around, speculation on the 40th anniversary. We've touched on it a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. Travis last week touched on it a bit.
Yeah.
Some speculation. Also, I've been seeing the news definitely broke more widely that there was this sphere situation that you brought up like a month or 2 ago.
Yeah.
Other folks are hearing it maybe from different sources, probably, than yours. So,
well, also there was that,
article.
Yes. About Jimmy and his pals from MSG.
Yes.
Named the Fish from Vermont.
The Fish from
negotiating
Vermont.
On hanging some dates at the Sphere. So I guess my source knows somebody in Jimmy's inner circle. And when I say Jimmy, I mean Jimmy Dolan. But,
what about that Japan thing?
Well, first of all, that photo of one of their gearboxes with the Japan.
It was on Reddit and Twitter.
Stenciled on there.
Yeah.
That was bullshit.
Like fake?
Had to be. Why would they have that on their gearbox?
Yeah. Apparently it was at the Greek, like stuck in green tape on something, but I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, and that website...
Unless what was in that box is like Mike's new weirdo instrument that maybe he got from Japan.
But it said 2024 on it. I'm almost certain that the piece of tape said that.
Does it just say 2024 or 24?
I don't know.
Anyway, I think it was photoshopped.
You could be right. Oh, because that website popped up, right?
Yeah.
Fish.jp, but then it was registered by like a promotions company that has like an office maybe in like Denver, but also in Japan, but that doesn't seem to have anything to do with the band. And I mean, are they trolling us or is it completely unrelated? I can't tell.
It just seems like they very rarely do anything not in-house.
Totally.
And if there was a website that was official, it wouldn't be up until they actually made it official.
And had some random words on it to say our friends from Vermont find it didn't even make sense.
No.
So I agree. And if it was official and accidentally went up early, that's the kind of thing that, you know, you'd make a couple phone calls and it would come back down, but now it's not down, it's still there. So it's like it's not, there's nothing happening. Other than maybe, you know, they're not doing a tour for the 40th in Japan. Like, no one can make it there. They've already announced Mexico, right? And Mexico ticket sales are happening as we speak. There's no secret Japan tour in the fall.
Probably not. I don't think so, but you never know.
But maybe it's like a cool box set from like the Japan tour. But I just even think it's a nothing. I think it's a giant nothing burger.
I think it's a giant nothing burger as well. I just don't see it coming to fruition, but I hope it does. If it does, that would be very cool. I would go to Japan.
It makes it real difficult for a lot of people to make it there. It would be kind of cool, but...
Well, maybe that's the whole idea. Like, they're going to play, like, tiny venues, so let's make it difficult for people to come. Because even if it's not difficult, and I don't know what exactly how you define difficult in this situation. Is it cost, travel time, language barrier, tickets? I don't know. Like, maybe for them to do Mexico and like satisfy everybody on that front, and then throw Japan out in November or December, they will have a better, like, they've trimmed the fat, so to speak.
I don't know. You know, it's a very particular crowd that goes to Mexico, right? It's expensive. It's a long way. You got to take a week off. You know, it's not for everybody. And Japan is that times 10 for a whole bunch of reasons. It's hard to get to. It's super far away. It's very expensive. Not everyone can get into the country. There's all sorts of problems, right, with Japan. And I just feel like it's exclusionary in the sense that, like, if Fish wanted to celebrate their 40th, why not have a shindig that everyone can come to? Why do a tour halfway across the world that only, you know, the Trustafarians can show up to, you know?
I don't think it would be for the 40th. If they're going to do it, I think it would be like their fall tour. Mm-hmm. And then the Sphere would be their 40th. And then, as I've continued to say pretty much every week,
India.
No. They're doing New Year's at MSG. Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
They just, like, for some reason, like to shiver their timbers up in freezing cold, wet, brown, stank Manhattan.
Yeah.
On the busiest day on that island's time of year.
I know.
Where there's just like a bunch of schmageggies cruising those streets a few blocks over for the infamous ball drop in Times Square. Like, who gives a fuck?
I remember leaving, you know, and then leaving MSG and then somehow finding yourself in Times Square after, but like this is after midnight, right? So it's just like, just like debris everywhere. Like, it doesn't do anything for me. I love Fish on New Year's. I used to love that back in the day when I had no family or anything to be, you know, like where would I rather be? That's why I was always try to be there, but it doesn't do anything for me anymore.
Well, the great thing about Fish on New Year's is that throughout my life, there's been like 40 some odd New Year's that I've experienced.
Right.
You know, but most of those are not as many in my adult life. But when I'm not at Fish on New Year's, it's like a womp womp.
100%.
Like, whoopity-doo. Like, all right, everybody.
New Year's is the biggest letdown of the party.
Like, blow your, like, little whistle and
noisemaker
and, like,
crack
kiss and, like, glass of champagne, and like, here we go again.
I would always say there's nowhere I would rather be on New Year's than a fish show, because it's actually a party, right? Doesn't matter what New Year's party you went to that wasn't MSG or wasn't fish. Like, it was as a letdown.
Yeah,
Nothing good happens on New Year's unless it's a fish show.
Yeah,
100% agree. But I don't need to be at MSG. I don't need to be at MSG.
No,
but I don't know.
What they should do, if I was them, would be like, okay, like, most of you guys, you can't afford to come to Mexico, so let's do it in Miami, where like most people could afford to drive to or fly to.
It's easy to get to Miami.
It's easy to get to Miami. There's like very economic.
How many years did they do Miami?
I think they've only done it twice.
Yeah.
Like in 2003 and 2009?
Yeah.
Or maybe they did it in 2000. They did it in the teens as well once, I think.
But yeah, I know they've done that a few times. So
not enough. And I guess there's just like, it's not hitting the right note for them, but it would be a nice opportunity for those who can't afford to go to Mexico to also get like a little fish in the sun, you know?
Yeah.
Have a reason to go on a little vacay and enjoy themselves on New Year's. But hey, that's just me. Maybe they make more money when they do it at MSG. You know, they got a sweetheart deal.
Yeah, look, it's close to home. They obviously have, they're obviously very plugged in to the MSG group, which is why we keep bringing up the Sphere. Because if fish doesn't make it to the Sphere, who will, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. The really interesting thing is, though, that because the visuals in the Sphere are so... apparently, that's one of the main attractions, right? Is these like all-encompassing visuals and such. It's interesting that, we're hearing that other bands playing in the Sphere are creating these real visuals, like soundscapes and stuff, right? But for fish, because it's all over the place, like, what do they do? It's Chris. What does Chris do? Just shine lights every which way, or do they try and do something cool? But then it's obviously improvisational in a way that like U2 isn't going to be, right? Like what they're trying to build for U2 is really the changes are dialed in, right?
I would suspect that Chris would be more than pissed off, but not pissed off about like, he just like might be a little curmudgeon about having to do something different that he hasn't been like rehearsing for and working on.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, he's going to have to like start a whole new ball game, whole new plan.
A 360 plan.
But even though he might complain about it, he also really likes that.
Yeah, it rises.
He loves it. He loves a challenge. And I think that of all the people out there who could get dialed in on something like this, it's probably him.
100%.
Like he's got the ability. There's a lot of great production designers and things going on at a lot of different concerts these days, but like in terms of lights, and that's like all you got. No pyrotechnics, no dancing things, and you just got the lights, like Chris's apex. So, I'm not worried about it. I think he would do an incredible job. Whatever's put on his plate, he always does.
I was thinking the other day, I was at Dead & Co. and I was watching, they had some cool visuals, right? There's so much, the imagery of the Grateful Dead is so powerful, right?
Oh,
they got the bull, they got the roses, they got the skeletons. They had some really, really cool visuals behind, right? Obviously on the screen. Really cool stuff and really, really nostalgic imagery. But then I was watching the lights also, and they're pretty simplistic. I was sort of interested, they kind of feel like cans. I don't know if they're LEDs. I'm not talking about the technology per se, but they're circles.
Yeah.
And they shine out, and they're about 3 different colors. And I mean, they were doing some stuff with it.
Oh, from what I saw, they didn't look bad.
They didn't look bad. I just
like a compliment.
Absolutely. They didn't detract. It wasn't a joke or anything. It just, I was thinking like, wow, this is very interesting. Having just recently seen Chris do what he does, again, and be like, okay, this is Dead & Co.'s final tour, right? Like they obviously made some phone calls and said, hey, we want the visuals to be kicked up a notch. They were all new. they had some pretty good video work done, and it just was interesting watching, watching the lights. But
yeah, every band's got their own shtick.
Yeah.
So how were those Dead & Co. shows?
I really enjoyed it. I did. I really liked it.
A whirlwind of emotion.
All the feels, right? I love all those songs. I love hearing them.
Mm-hmm.
I love the arrangement that they have. I love Chimetti. Bobby's a legend, right? I mean, O'Teal's throwing it down. He's always having a good time. I love John singing a lot of those songs. Like, I am into it. I am like sold. They made a fan out of me, and I'm into it. They played Broke Down Palace as the encore, which was definitely feeling like that was the last time I might see this arrangement and hear these things. I was like, oof,
Yeah.
It hit. It was good. I got everything I wanted out of it. It was excellent.
Well, hopefully, members of that band continue to play these songs in one way or another. I know Bobby's never going to stop.
Obviously.
And hopefully John Mayer continues on with it in a part-time capacity.
Like, that would be cool. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
In some sense. I don't think he wants to stop. I think that he gets a lot of respect for his own music.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, if I was in his situation, that's probably like what I would want to continue to play. And I don't think he'll ever stop doing his own
music. Yeah. He's really embodied this, though. Like, when I think of him, I think of Dead & Co. now. I don't think of, his body of work prior, obviously, right?
Zero interest in any of his other music.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. So, the sad part for me, I love hearing him sing a lot of these songs now, and he is really just excellent. He's made those songs his own on the guitar, and I think we were talking about this prior, but some of my favorite moments musically are when the conversations that Jeff and him have, when they kind of face off and play off each other. And those are really fun moments at those shows, right? When they just kind of get into when they're jamming together.
I heard that starting on Saturday of this tour in LA, the leash was loosened on John. Supposedly they said to him, "This is it. Let's go for it. Don't hold back." And hopefully that lasts throughout the tour, because there was supposedly a extreme difference. I wasn't at the shows, but
between Friday and Saturday.
And supposedly that's when it happened, was a Saturday. John, let's really go for it this time.
Saturday was, I would say, excellent.
Yeah.
And I've re-listened on Nug since, and it really was excellent.
A friend of mine who has from the very get-go been anti-Dead & Co., but has still gone to see them, but has never been
not sold.
This is doing what I remember it was doing for me when the big man was alive.
Mm-hmm.
But supposedly the show in Phoenix did it for him. For the first time.
Interesting.
And now he's all butthurt that,
it's over.
Finally, it's over.
Yeah, I mean, Saturday was great. I love the jams that Dead & Co. does, but I like when they keep it jammy, not deep.
Not
right?
spacey.
Not spacey, because I love the catalog of music. I love all the lyrics. I love all the sort of bluesy, guitar-y stuff. I love what John's doing up there. I love hearing Bobby sing some of those songs. I love it all, but then, some of the harder moments of Dead & Co. for me is when they take it real deep spacey, because some of the magic isn't there, right? The magic that was created by the Grateful Dead, in the same way the magic we expect from Phish, right? Yeah. Those magical moments aren't there, but are they excellent musicians that play really well together? Yes. Yeah. So there's a place where I love them to take the music, and then there's a place where I know that that super, super special magic just isn't actually going to happen. But they played some great stuff, I got a terrapin. It was great. It was great. I kind of want to
about Phish sometimes, sometimes they go in a direction that I don't necessarily love, and it gets kind of boring.
Yeah,
it happens.
Totally.
But the one knock I've always felt about Dead & Co., and don't get me wrong, I've seen them a lot, is vocally, I wish that Bobby never sang Jerry songs. Like, stick to your songs, brah. You do those really well. But for those who are used to hearing Jerry's voice sing certain songs, I'd almost rather hear like somebody else sing them other than Bobby. And like maybe here and there, one or two, that he jumps in on. But there are certain songs that he should not be singing, that John Mayer should be singing. That's always just been my one like little knock, like the tempo, sure, whatever. Like some's good, some's bad. That doesn't bother me.
It didn't come across as slow for me, especially Saturday. It didn't come across as slow.
That's what a lot of people were saying about it, with like John kind of leading the tempo this time. So, anywho, Dead & Co. Go see them.
Yeah, go check them out.
It's your last chance to dance.
It was a good time.
Yeah,
A+. Gets 5 stars for me.
That's great. That's great. Well, I'm hopefully going to see them at some point this summer.
Yeah, I'm wondering
if you need
I don't know. I might need a little more, but I don't know.
Well, they're playing in Dallas this weekend.
Well, I ain't going to Dallas, but maybe catch the end, right? Might be sweet to catch those last couple shows.
Yeah,
that might be the move, but we'll see. We'll take it day by day.
I feel you. Anything else that we want to discuss? Mexico?
You going to Mexico?
I'm going to Mexico.
Excellent.
Here's my shtick on Mexico. I've been twice. The first year and last year. So the first year was what, 2016?
2016.
So they've been doing it for a long time. It's a big commitment,
Yes.
They play basically the same week every year now. And this year, they're playing on my birthday, which I've never seen a birthday show before. So hopefully they play all my favorite songs that night. And and I've said after going in 21, did I go in 21? After going in 22 to the Moon Palace and, having some friends there, it just seems like if I had to choose one fish, and this is also before they played at the Hollywood Bowl, but whatever. If I had to choose one fish experience to like really go in on, Mexico's it, because they've got it dialed in. It's expensive as fuck, but at the same time, like, it's a very unique experience. And you're on the beach and you're just chilling during the day, like in paradise. You know, Barcello was never pulling me back. The food was horrendous. The rooms weren't great. It was just like kind of not worth the money you're spending. But the Moon Palace is nice.
That's what I've heard.
It's you're cruising around in golf carts. There's a lot of pools. There's tons of beach. There's a lot of restaurants. Everything is just like very nice. And if you're going to want to take a vacation, then you might as well do it with fish playing at night. Because like if you're going somewhere, tropical, what are you doing at night? If you're like a married couple, I guess you like go out for dinner, then maybe you go like have a few drinks somewhere, and then you're like, what?
I agree.
I don't know.
No, it fills the whole night's slot up with something actually fun.
Yeah, you've had like a great day hanging out at the pool with your friends or the beach with your friends or golfing or not that I
You can have dinner with your friends. You can scuba dive during the day. Like there's all that fun stuff. I mean, I remember, people going out diving when we were there and coming back, and then you go to a fish show.
Yeah.
Like, what's the best?
I know. And people are into it. I'm into it. So I'm excited to go back. I just wish that they hadn't sprung it on us so early. Like commit so early, as we were talking about.
They have to commit early, I guess, obviously.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they have to commit early. Has it always happened around this time of year?
I have no recollection.
Feels early, but what do I know? Anywho, got to follow through. Didn't go this year. Going next year.
Yeah.
Got to do it.
Keep us posted.
I will. Sanity, Feb 22, 2024.
Yeah, they'll play it. You're getting a Sanity.